Time to say good morning to Nitin Rakesh, and let's see what the view is at Motilal Oswal AMC. Nitin, thank you for being with us today. You know, we were just talking to some of our trading friends here, and the overall mood, as you can imagine, is not very gung-ho, not very optimistic for sure. But what do you think? I mean, now we're beyond August 2, that whole event of the US debt ceiling is behind us, and markets are not feeling any better.
Morning. I think we've obviously had a double whammy of sorts. Not only did we go through a fairly surprise move by the RBI a few days ago, we've also have to now deal with some global headwinds. And I think August 2 was really, in a number of ways, was a given that at some point the resolution will come in, and came in at the 11th hour. But I think the bigger issue really is slowdown in global growth and the double dip talk resurfacing again. And I think that's really what's keeping the global sentiment low as well. So I think we have double headwinds both globally as well as domestically, and I think till such time that we see some silver lining in the global slowdown, and that can only be maybe a deep correction in commodity prices, including especially oil. I think till such time that we get any positives out of the current situation, we'll probably have to keep waiting for the next trigger. And I think we are probably on our way to test the lower end of the trading zone that we have been in for the last 10 or 12 months.
So Nitin, I guess we're at a time where till the next big trigger, a big global event comes through, people will keep asking the basic fundamental question: how much is this market worth? Is it worth 5,200? Is it worth 5,400? Or is it worth 6,000 on the Nifty? What do you think?
Well, I think the issue really isn't as to what the market is worth today. I think the issue really is what the current environment is doing to earnings. And as we can see in the commentary, company after company, there is obviously an impact that's starting to show up of interest costs, and companies aren't really able to manage the increased interest costs with increase in EBITDA. So clearly, I think that's really what the bigger worry right now is. Obviously, the firms that have less leverage or high free cash flows are the firms that are doing well. Whether it happens to be somebody from the auto pack or FMCG companies or pharmaceutical companies, that's where you see the impact of interest rate costs to be the least. So I think it's really a flight to safety right now. The issue really is at what point do we see signs of slowdown in inflation and interest rate cycle? Maybe because of the global slowdown, maybe that's our silver lining that we need to wait and watch for. And my sense is that at some point over the next quarter or so, we will start seeing the positives out of the global slowdown, especially for the Indian markets.
But just going back to the question, Nitin, so I mean, just on a valuation sense, again, to put an index level to it, I mean, I know it's hard to do that, but what kind of a rough trading band do you think do our valuations justify now?
I think at this point, I'll be very surprised if we move away from the current trading band that we've been in, which is around 52, 53 on the downside and about 57, 58 on the upside. And it's kind of a broad 10% odd band, and I think that's what we think we will continue to operate in until such time that we find a trigger to go back up. Is there a risk on the downside? Obviously, if global situation goes really bad and there's a flight of capital out of all emerging markets, then obviously we have a downside risk beyond those levels too. But I think at this point in time, it doesn't look like we'll see massive sell-off, at least not because of global slowdown. So I think we had started to see a little bit of positive inclination from foreign investors back into India way back in June. But again, because of the RBI whammy, I think people have adopted another wait and watch approach. So I think we will spend some more time in this zone and then potentially go through another time correction before we find the next trigger up.
So Nitin, what are you okay buying in the market right now in terms of broad themes?
I think, as I said, right now it's really all about defensive. So consumption seems fairly defensive. Even if you see things like two-wheeler numbers really haven't taken a big knock. So I think that aspect of the market is still fairly stable. I wouldn't say it's robust or it's going to grow fast, but it's fairly stable. Secondly, I think you start seeing some interesting opportunities with things like banks, even though you need a fairly long patience and the ability to sit through it. IT is clearly another kind of semi-defensive, even though the global headwinds will keep pressure on IT companies from a growth perspective. But I think they still have a fairly strong balance sheet position, the least impact from interest rate cycle and so on. And on the other hand, I think capital goods and construction and real estate are the worst hit, and will continue to be the worst hit till such time that we see a softening in interest rates.
So within these three sectors that you mentioned, consumption, banks and IT, should the strategy be to try and go for what's not moved up already, where valuations are cheap? Maybe there's not such great earnings visibility, but at least the stocks are relatively cheap. Or should you just stick to safety, stick to main names and stick to stocks, even if they're at, let's say, 52-week highs in case of ITC and Unilever, you should just go for them?
Well, again, it's very hard to justify anything on a valuation perspective when it comes to the FMCG names. So I think, yes, they will give you safety because they tend to obviously not fall with the market or fall a lot lesser than the market. So I think it's really a question of what you're trying to build your portfolio for. If you're trying to build it really to last out the storm, or you're really building it from a much longer term, growth perspective. So I think it has to really be a blend of some defensives, but you then also have to find ideas and names that you can have in there from a growth perspective. So having a portfolio of all defensives is also not going to do any justice, purely because then you're really getting into the most expensive end of the market.
So I'm wondering where you'll categorize, or how you will categorize Reliance Industries now. I know you don't talk stocks, but I'm just trying to figure out if that's high risk area of your portfolio, or if that's like a traditional defensive safety stock in the portfolio nowadays.
Well, I'll just say that we wouldn't call it a defensive.
Okay, fair enough. But talking about some of the the other parts of the market, capital goods, as you mentioned, that there doesn't seem to be any pickup, and that's quite evident in the numbers as well. But should you try and venture into getting into some kind of buying right now? Because especially for the road companies, of late we've seen a certain pickup in orders, even in construction, for construction companies, tier 2 companies, or some of the mid-cap names. We keep hearing of NHAI bids being announced, etc. But is it too early to take that risk, you think?
I think from our point of view, I think it's a little too early, and not because the problem is with order books. I think the problem is much more with the high gearing and the interest costs. So I think till such time that we know that that's going to soften, it just might be too risky or too brave to venture into that territory yet.
Okay, let me ask you about the earnings season. Has there been a set of numbers which has really made you sit up and take notice on the positive side? On the flip side, are there any very clear downtrends that you can take away from the earnings season?
I think clearly telecom's been a good set of numbers. We'll see what happens with Bharti today, but that obviously has given some opportunity to look at investment opportunities. Auto, to some level, auto numbers have been pretty good as well, especially the mass auto companies, whether it's a Bajaj or a Maruti. I think on the downside, we've obviously got some negative surprise from capital goods. Obviously the extent of impact was what surprised the markets. I think IT to some extent has been a little disappointing, but that's because the valuations were already too high. So I think it's been a mixed bag. My sense is we'll probably see some amount of downgrades in the earning estimates for the aggregate pack, maybe Sensex for FY12. Maybe not for FY13 yet, but if we persist into this high interest rate environment through the end of this financial year, then we might see FY13 getting impacted as well. So I think it's a fairly it's a lot of moving parts right now on the earnings front, and we still haven't seen all the earnings out yet. But so far, what we've really seen is not a surprise, although we have a slight downside bias right now to the current earnings.
Okay, so just getting back to telecom, the point that you made, we've seen a pretty good rally as well thanks to this tariff hike that came through after 2-3 years. Is it already getting slightly uncomfortable on valuations, or do you think there's a lot of headroom considering how these stocks have been under-owned in the last few years?
I think there's a lot of headroom, and I think keep in mind, this is just the first of many positive announcements for the companies. Tariff also, some of them have raised tariff only to a small extent. So I think this could be the first of many positive triggers. Definitely the stocks have been under-owned. Definitely the earnings have surprised. I think there's a lot going on for that sector, and it just might end up being one of the best places to be in over the next 2 or 3 quarters.
Buying anything in real estate by any chance, even as a contra bet?
Not at this point. Not that I can think of. At least at a broad level, we haven't really taken fancy to that yet.
So Nitin, coming back to some closing thoughts now, we've basically understood your sectoral spread out right now. When you talk to your friends and colleagues in the financial services arena, is there any sense, any clarity in terms of flows? Are we likely to see even that small gush or those bursts of liquidity that we've seen off and on throughout the last 1 year. Are we likely to see that again perhaps around Diwali? Any sense that's building up?
It all depends on what we see in September from the central bank. I think if there's one thing that put people off from that gush coming in, and I think we just started to see the opening of some of the flows late June, early July. So I think it's really a question of the faith that RBI is not going to go to the other end of the spectrum and go extreme in tightening. I think if that one clarity comes in, we're likely to see a fairly strong flow of capital from foreign investors. If the stance stays very hawkish and if they continue to get negative surprises, I think we are probably going to write off 2012 and 2011 from a good year from foreign investors.
All right, Nitin, always great speaking with you. Thank you for taking out the time this morning. Thanks. Well, that's the view coming in from Motilal Oswal Asset Management Company. Nitin Rakesh, they're saying that they are also sticking to more defensives, not getting very adventurous with their portfolio. Stock performances or other thematic preferences, consumption. They also like banks, though of course you have to be picky and choosy, and they think IT also can be a bit of a defensive play given the current context.